Close to 1,000 heavily armed Ethiopian troops have crossed over into Somalia. The troops will be stationed in the Billow region along the border between the two countries to boost the presence of African Union troops serving under AMISOM. The troop surge comes just days after a visit by Somalia's president to AMISOM troop contributing countries, where he sought support for a large-scale offensive said to be mounted by Mogadishu against al-Shabaab. In the capital, leaders have been meeting to discuss a recent security crisis in the country, with calls being made for leaders to set aside political rivalry and focus on al-Shabaab following 14th October's attack that killed 358 people in downtown Mogadishu.
AMISOM alone cannot defeat al-Shabaab. This war has now entered its 10th year and it hasn't been an easy one. I've declared war against the group, but in reality we have been at war for the past decade, with only the military and AMISOM being involved. But we are changing that strategy into one that will once and for all eliminate this terrorist group.
Lower Shabelle region and Billow will be the government's main area of focus, where the group overran 4 African Union bases in these regions, killing scores of soldiers in the past year. However, non-AMISOM troops from Ethiopia have been criticized for abandoning towns and villages in the past. With al-Shabaab beheading those found assisting African Union soldiers, the latest move will now likely to create renewed concerns about a repeat of the same. But following the recent dismissal of top security chiefs, experts have questioned Mogadishu's readiness to launching the new offensive. It's by far the biggest security challenge to rock Somalia's new government that's barely in office for 9 months. Earlier this month, it sought the resignation of the defense minister and the army chief following a deadly al-Shabaab ambush on an army base outside Mogadishu that left 17 soldiers dead. And earlier this week, it sacked the intelligence chief and the police boss following a wave of attack here in the capital claimed by the militant group al-Shabaab.
Never again will we accept a group that seeks to brainwash the youth into killing our mothers, fathers, and children. To everyone listening to me, I hereby inform you that al-Shabaab does not belong to a particular tribe or religion, but an enemy of the Somali public, and the only way to defeat them is if we combine all our efforts to eradicate it.
Experts suggest that Mogadishu is far from taking charge of its own national security. Its troops remain underfunded and poorly trained, and highly unlikely that these soldiers will be ready to fill the gap left behind by AMISOM come 2018 as it seeks to exit from Somalia. Abdulaziz, Billow, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.